Oh, good morning, as the French would say. I love to paint, using the rusty period blood of your deceased granny on my palette. Ha ha ha! Painting is a normal way people express their suppressed feelings, but me, I keep my feelings so suppressed, I try to find them in the bottom of a massive greasy takeaway every single night of the week. Diabetes, it's coming. Cholesterol, I love it. I hope your hearts explode like mine will, you little brats.
Hey, you painting over there, dude?
Hey! It's Wordy Wankand! I sure am painting Wordy Wankand. Would you like to see?
Yes.
Well, yowie wowie! I've injected your cups of juice with gonorrhea, children. Anyway. Ta-da! Here, man, shut your mouth or I'll smother you with a paving stone. Run, little wanking hand. Jasper the head is awake. Whoa, take it easy, Jasper. I'm very sorry. You all know I'm very sorry, don't you? Jasper the head, he's a bit of a cockwomble.
Hey, isn't cockwomble the word of the day or something?
Hey, you know what, Wordy Wankand? Cockwomble is the word of the day. Curly cuh, or curly cuh, kicking cuh, wah, or, mu, bu, lu, eh. Cockwomble.
WTF, WTF.
If I was to compare last night's episode of WWE Raw to anything on the planet Earth today, I would compare it to walking along to Tesco's, buying a meal deal, but for some reason getting a plain ham sandwich, some ready salted crisps, and a bottle of bastard water. Yes, they all taste fine on their own, but as a meal deal connection, it's not exciting at all, is it? Last night's Raw was fine, but it just wasn't exciting, was it?
Maggle, 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 maggle.
So first of all, we have Michael Cole gushing over Braun Strowman like he's a small child attending a BTS concert. Who am I kidding? Of course Michael Cole goes to a BTS concert all on his lonesome, the freak. Anyway, we have Michael saying, oh guys, remember what Braun Strowman did at WrestleMania? Isn't he cool, guys? Isn't he swell? Oh my god, Braun, yeah, you rock my world. It's monster time. Michael, you mean winning a match that nobody's asked about? You mean the match that's failed time and time and time again at launching the careers it's supposedly launching? The match that big baldy bastard Baron Corbin himself misses off his list of accomplishments at the start of his entrance these days because even he knows how much of a joke it is. It's some accomplishment, that, Michael.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
Oh my god, what the hell was that? But here's a direct quote from Corey Graves from last night's Raw. Just imagine what Ricochet is going to be capable of with all of those ladders at his disposal. We don't have to imagine, Corey. We've seen it in WWE already. Remember NXT? WWE's supposed third brand, despite the fact the Viking War Warrior Experience Raiders prove that to be absolute bollocks every single week. Takeover New Orleans last year, Ricochet was in the ladder match that gave Lars Sullivan, of all people, a 5-star match to his name. 5-star Lars, and Ricochet was there too, Corey.
What she say? Say, shut up, Renee. What she say? Say, shut up, Renee.
So next up we have Renee Young saying that she hopes the fellas in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match hope they know what they're up against when it comes to Ricochet, and if they don't, they should check out the WWE Network to see what he's worth. Yes, Renee, they better do that, or they won't have a clue what to do against a man who debuted on Raw in February, who has wrestled on Raw just about every week since February, who wrestled on the main card at WrestleMania, who's wrestled on bare NXT takeovers and many NXT TVs, and a lot more wrestling. They won't have a clue, will they?
What she say? Say, shut up, Renee.
And then Renee believes that Drew McIntyre's hunger and the things he wants to achieve in WWE means he's deadly in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Is that because the rest of them have no desire and no passion for the thing they sacrifice their bodies for and their family life for, Renee? Is that what you're trying to imply? To be quite frank, Lampard, with you, Renee Young, at the start of last night's Raw, you're making no sense whatsoever. And I was thinking to myself, you should take a leaf out of Ronan Keating's book, because you say it best when you say nothing at all. Now, according to Michael Cole, only a couple of people in the history of the Money in the Bank ladder match have won 2 Money in the Bank ladder matches. Now, to me, a couple, that means 2, but as far as I can see, only one person in the history of the Money in the Bank ladder match has won more than 1 Money in the Bank ladder match, and that is WWE's favourite wrestler in the world ever, Chick Magnet Punk. Now, I know you'll be sat there at home saying, but Ross Carmella's won 2 ladder matches as well. But we all know what happened there, didn't we? A man with a working set of cock and bollocks scaled the ladder, took the briefcase down because the woman couldn't do it on her own, and he just plopped it straight down into her hands. And then, of course, on a subsequent episode of SmackDown Live, they did it again because WWE realised they shouldn't have done that thing in the first ever historic, history-making Women's Money in the Bank ladder match. Knobheads. One Cultaholic signed it last night's WWE Raw, and thank you very much to the powers that be and pals for spreading the good name of Cultaholic throughout the WWE universe. Next time you go, do what they did, please. Please. Hang on a second there, Oos. WrestleMania season, it ended bare time ago, fam. What the hell are you pointing at? You go that way, down the one-way street. That was low, I'm sorry. Now let's go all the way back to the WTF Moments for WWE Raw that aired on YouTube on April the 16th to see what Michael Cole said. It only happens once a year, according to Michael Cole. Welcome everyone to the Superstar Shake-Up. But here we find ourselves roughly 12 bastard years later, and superstars are still all being shaken up. When will it end? Yeah, man, we're going to put the entire Raw Tag Team division on notice. Yeah, man, we're bulletproof, honest. Aye, and I'm going to become Mr. Bastard Universe tomorrow because I've got all the muscles. You're talking bollocks, lads.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
And next up we have Corey Graves asking what the differences are between the Uso Penitentiary and the Good Brothers Penitentiary. Does the Good Brother version have more conjugal visits, Corey asks? Oh, now as far as I can tell, because I've never been to prison. Don't go to prison, kids. It's a bad place to go. A conjugal visit is a visit from a spouse to their partner who's inside jail, and they assume the gorilla position, if you know what I'm saying. The spouse visits the inmate so the inmate can get a good pop, brother, if you know what I'm saying. The spouse visits the inmate in prison so they both can work stiff, brother, if you know what I'm saying. Good God almighty, I miss Penny, me. So what we've learned from this point here on the WTF Moments video for last night's WWE Raw is that Corey Graves is a kinky bugger. They're shaving each other's backs like a pair of... They're shaving each other's backs like a pair of... Like a pair of men who do not have detachable arms so they can reach everywhere on their back. What's the issue here? Why the hell is Jimmy Uso laughing at the Revival helping each other to shave their backs? Tell me something, please, people at home. Are we supposed to be laughing at a couple of male professional wrestlers who appear in their Speedos in front of millions of people every single week, for Christ's sake? Manscaping. I'm so angry and confused I can't talk.
Damn it, pal! I'm 70,000 years old, and I think it's hilarious because they're gay!
They're not, though, are they? So in a little nutshell, as I still try to wrap my mind around what this segment was trying to achieve, we have the Usos look at their lovely hairless torsos, laughing at a pair of men manscaping. I don't know about you, but I remember the days when the Usos were a pair of bad men. They had a banging theme tune, they had unbelievable promos, and better still, they had unbelievable matches. But last night on Raw, they came out singing because that's so fun to watch, according to Michael Cole, and people who don't know what fun is. And what's more, that segment happened as they appear to pick up R-Truth's script instead of their own. And anyway, when Jimmy was stood behind that wall screaming, "What is that? What is that?" how the hell did the Revival not hear him? Oh aye, that's right, I guess the Revival must have assumed their ears were not working properly, because yesterday apparently they were offered $500,000 a year for 5 years just not to sign for AEW. I think the ears were broken too if that was on my doorstep as well. Quelle surprise, as the French would say. WWE having a case of the first time evers when they simply should not be having a case of the first time evers. Apparently at Money in the Bank 2019, in just 3 weeks time, it will be AJ Styles and Seth Rollins' first ever singles match together, because apparently we don't know they've already had one. And WWE, they even know they've had one because they show footage of it in Seth Rollins' Chronicle of his 24, whatever those shows are called, on the network. NWA Midwest, April April 28th, 2006, AJ Styles defeats Tyler Black, and do not tell me that Tyler Black and Seth Rollins are two different human beings, because we live in a world where Hanson and Rowe and Ivor and Eric are the same thing apparently. Aye.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
And next up we have Corey Graves thinking that Socrates is a sculptor. Doesn't he know he's a footballer? I'm joking, he was a philosopher, Bill and Ted. Where the hell have those fingers been? Why the hell are they so wet? And just so you know, because Bobby Lashley himself, he didn't seem to know, Bobby Lashley actually lost at WrestleMania 35, just like The Miz did, rendering every single thing Bobby Lashley said on Miz TV last night completely pointless. Something that even Michael Cole picked up, which is unbelievable, because as we all know, Michael Cole is the single biggest numpty this side of John Bradshaw Layfield. Never show your face again in public, Bobby Lashley. And sticking with Michael, here's a direct quote-ish from him from last night's Raw. Didn't Shane appear on last week's SmackDown Live and ask what kind of a man would put their hands on another man's dad? He's a hypocrite. That's what Shane did to Mrs. Dad. That's the point, man, Michael. We all watched last week's SmackDown Live, didn't we? We all saw Colonel McSweaty Bollocks, who of course is the best professional wrestler in the world, being purposefully obtuse, being a hypocrite on purpose to wind marks like you up, Michael. I don't like calling people marks, but I cannot help it when Michael Cole, the apparent lead commentator in WWE, says something like that. Open your ears, man. So in the midst of that bloody horrible segment to announce the Raw half of the Women's Money in the Bank ladder match, Alexa Bliss, who was being a massive bitch, despite the fact she's definitely been a babyface in recent times, meaning she's not been Alexa Bliss, but Alexa pissed, haha, drunk. Alexa Bliss announced that she wasn't wearing her own shoes. Alexa had to borrow some shoes, and I'm wondering why Alexa Bliss had to borrow some shoes. Again, the comment section is down there. Please let me know. To episode 2 of the Firefly Funhouse. That's the first time I said that sentence, believe me. We go. And I'm still intrigued. This is still building to be absolutely fantastic. But first of all, why was R-Truth playing the rabbit? Second of all, why did Paige there, why did her voice last week go from, hello, I'm a witch, to this week being like, hey, sucker, I pity the fool? Continuity. Nacho Libre. More like, I take a daisy. I've not seen Nacho Libre. I don't know how he said it. I've forgotten. Wyndham Rotunda, the man who plays Bray Wyatt, cannot spell sociopath without having to look at cue cards clearly under the camera. Numpty. And speaking of Paige, of course, I mean Abby the Witch. I can't have been the only person to see in that painting there, Abby the Witch in the window of that log cabin thing Randy Orton set ablaze and then posed in front of, because that's what you do when you set things on fire. So why is that important, children? I hear you ask. Well, you see, in the Firefly Funhouse, Abby is in the window, just like she is in the painting. That cabin thing is on fire, so that Firefly Funhouse, I'm not drunk, I swear, is actually the cabin that Randy Orton set on fire, and none of this is real. Where they can go from there, I don't know. But it's good, isn't it? So last night on Raw, we learned that Alexa Bliss is 27 years old and she cannot tie her shoelaces. And I don't know about you, but I reckon every single time those laces came undone in the ring on last night's Raw, Alexa was damning her luck, saying, oh no, not again. KNOT. But it's clear that Naomi, the Jezebel, doesn't have a soul, S-O-L-E, because she took advantage when Alexa's shoes came off. I don't know about you now, but I reckon we need another custody of Dominic ladder match, because it's clear for all to see that The Rock, he used to like eating the poontang pie all the way back in the day, and that picture there shows he was eating the poontang pie from Ronald Mysterio's kitchen table, if you know what I mean. If you don't, I reckon The Rock fornicated with Rey Mysterio's wife to produce Dominic.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
So first of all, we have Corey Graves calling that segment for the revival humiliating and embarrassing, and then we have Michael Cole following it up by calling it funny, which of course means it isn't funny, because Michael Cole wouldn't know funny if he fell out of a boat into a sea of funny. Still, I'm stood here wondering why it was funny, why it was embarrassing, why it was humiliating. One pal was helping out another. It's wholesome. Someone tell me why. And next up we have the crowd in Kentucky chanting shave your back to Scott Dawson, hours after we saw Scott Dawson having his back shaved by Dash Wilder. What do you want him to do, Kentucky? Continue to shave his back so his skin comes off, and then so he can put his skin over his head and act like Cornholio he needs some things for his bunghole? He's not Albert, man. Albert was eaten by Tensai many moons ago.
Made a grave mistake, Corey.
If you stay together for long enough, what goes around comes around, and no, I'm not going where you think I'm going with this. That was Corey Graves speaking about Zack Ryder and Curt Hawkins, who of course were divorced for about 9 years before getting back together very recently. How could you forget the greatest tag team in the history of professional wrestling, Corey Graves? The Hype Bros. They were so hype. 2 words, WWE. We could all see through this like the transparent window in the Firefly Funhouse. I still can't say that word, but Sasha Banks. Not my opinion. I think good on Sasha for wanting more, but I also think bad on Sasha if she did indeed throw a hissy fit. Do you reckon Roman and Brock did that at WrestleMania 31 when they found out on the day of the event that Seth Rollins was winning? I don't think they did. But still, I'm conflicted. But however, man, WWE, we know that message is to everyone backstage who's threatening to leave. We know what you're doing with Sammy. Oh, well, Michael Cole, it's Seth Rollins against AJ Styles for the first time in WWE, is it? Why wasn't it that before? It's because it was right. And Michael Cole likes getting things wrong. He's got a fetish for it. So a fan inside the Rupp Arena would like the Rupp Arena burnt down. Arkham Asylum immediately. And next up we have AJ Styles saying, Seth Rollins, your little team is not on Raw anymore. And just as he was saying that, I realised why the Good Brothers have been moved to Raw. Heel turn incoming, down your drinks and mind the bank. And finally we have Seth Rollins claimed that he was at his best at WrestleMania in the match against Brock Lesnar, which means that Seth Rollins was at his best when he was being a dirty cheater and smacking Brock Lesnar right in the winky. Home Alone 3 ting. Some noble babyface you are, Sethy Poo. You can only be at your best when you're being a dirty, dirty cheater. You, pal, you should be ashamed. Ashamed, arsehole. And that's it for all the WTF moments from the most finest, most blandest, most boringest episode of WWE Raw in recent history. I've been Ross from Cultaholic.com. Thank you once again for being a sexual wank pheasant. Go on the back shaving. Thanks for watching. Let us know what you think in the comments below. You can follow us on Twitter at Cultaholic. You can find us on Facebook at facebook.com/Cultaholic. And if you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can play us to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Cultaholic. Hit subscribe and join us